Hello guys, greetings again and welcome you again to the programmer. Basically in our previous video we actually looked at understanding HTML attributes. We look at why HTML elements actually exist. We actually look on adding another HTML attribute to another, and we did some tiny things with CSS as you see here. We basically just played around with some basic styling and gave it this particular feel. So now in this video, we'll first of all get started by diving into colors, and we'll learn about formatting our code and getting something, maybe browser development and all that. So firstly, I want us to give this section of our page have like the same look and something, maybe give it a better text. Okay. All right. So what we will first of all do, we're just going to add the style attribute, and from the style attribute, I just want us to copy this same, like the same styling properties, right, that we have above, and just maybe like let's say duplicate it as per se. So we'll just give it this, and okay, you see basically it has centered the same way. So now working with colors, right, you may be wondering how to get a good color. I always recommend you visit open color. You have variety of colors. You have teal and maybe primary, secondary, and colors that actually suit its meaning. Okay, so it's like an open source color scheme, which is very important. So now what I want us to do is, you see here we have like a gray with different variations. So let's try maybe changing the color, right? Let's say we want our text below here to be, let's maybe say dark gray. All right, and let's see how that looks like. Sorry, not this. Okay, like let's say this is dark gray. Okay, and see our font family has actually increased. Or now you discover here an open color, right? There's several ways you can actually use colors in HTML. You can decide to use an HSL approach. If you visit image color picker, you discover here you have like hexadecimal format that we're going to try now. Or you can use RGB, that's red, green, blue. You can just scroll to color picker and you see each color has different shades, right? This is more of the hexadecimal point of view. And now if you want to actually check that okay color actually fits on another, you can see here, let me say this, your like your text white and your background color this. So let's test and see. You see it's very good, they give 4 stars. So it's very important, it's important to actually use this, so it gives your page a particular feeling. Okay, let's try using this for our text color and that for our background color. Now provided you don't like, here we've just given it a text color of this, let's just change that and use our text color that. Okay, now maybe you want to add the background color of what do you actually see here. Let's use this as a background color. Okay, now let's see how that actually looks like. You see, well, it just shows you that that color actually fits on the order. Okay, but for now we're just going to remove it. Okay, I'll just go with the basic dark gray for that. I just wanted to show you guys how you actually work with that practically. When we get more into that, we'll play more into that. So now for dark gray, we can use, let's just say RGB. RGB is very important. RGB, you can use an RGB of maybe a variation of 83, this is 75. Okay, now this mostly using like the RGB format, but now there is an issue, we didn't give it color here. All right, so now we have this actually looks a little bit better. So we use RGB approach. Like I said, here you can use the RGB format or the receiving HSL. HSL stands for hue, saturation, lightness, and so on and so forth. So with time, the more you use colors, you actually practice and get better with it. So now, another thing, if you take notice, VS Code actually helps us with picking colors. For instance, if you come here, right, and you see royal blue, you can actually switch it. Once you click it, you can go to the hexadecimal code of that. You click, go to hue, saturation, lightness, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to stick with the hexadecimal code of that. Okay. So now, when building a web page, you should actually come up with a particular color scheme, like the primary color and secondary color that is going to suit, and make sure you always check the color contrast to make sure that you actually suit for your website. Another thing I want us to look is, okay, for instance, let's say let's just say, I would like, let's say our Christian website is that. All right, let's say we have paragraph of I would love to learn how to cook. Yeah, right. Okay, if we want to separate this, like doing this manual separation, it's not really presentable. Okay, now there's what they call, like, how can you actually format your code. Okay, on Mac, right, what you can easily do is you can come here to your code. Okay, you can basically, there's what they call, you can use a prettier, or you can use like basically a keyboard shortcut that you can set for you to actually work with that. All right, so I'll go to my settings. Okay, I'm on Mac, and go to keyboard shortcut. Now on keyboard shortcut, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to search for format, because formatting your documents actually gives it a particular look, so you will not be clicking like spaces and all that, which is really time consuming. Okay, so now if you see here, my format document is set to Shift Command F. Okay, you can always set it to what you want. So if I come here and I take Shift Command F, sorry, okay, that's not working. Let's just go to, all right, I was basically searching. Okay, go to file, go to code, settings, keyboard shortcut, I think. Okay, format document, I'm just going to change it. You can double click. Once you double click, you can change it to what you want. Command F. Okay, so let's see. If you come here and take Command F, so you can configure it. Okay, you can decide to use this or use prettier. All right, so you see now this has actually been structured in a more readable format. Okay, so that's how you actually format your code. All right, or better still, either you have selected prettier as the default, as you see. If you don't have prettier, you can come to the right navigation here. As you see, you can sorry, let me put this away, extensions, and you search prettier. So once you see this prettier, you just install. I already have it installed, so I don't need to install it. It gives you a more readable code, okay, rather than you creating spaces up and down your code. So this actually looks much more presentable compared to the other one. All right. Nextly, another thing I want us to look, right? You see, okay, I'll just leave this here for now. You see how our website actually looks now. As a developer, there's another thing I would like you to know, what is called browser developer tools. Okay, you see here we have once you inspect, you can have the browser developer tools here where you can actually pick things and actually look like the structure of it. So now, for instance, everything you see here, right, it is embedded within the browser development tool. So if I say, for instance, I go to a website and I see this, I'm like, oh, how did they actually do this? I can click this, okay, and you see that section actually gives me like a default styling of that particular element that was used. Okay, you see like the H1 tag we use there comes with like some user agent style sheet, which is important for you to know this, so that once you're adjusting your page, you know that okay, this is by default of this particular element. Okay, and from there you'll be able to structure things over and over. Okay, so for instance here, if I want to turn off this color, right, you see it goes back to black. Okay, and the browser developer tools, it's not like you're hacking a page. Okay, it's not like you're hacking a page, it's just basically you just playing around. Okay, as soon as you refresh this, everything will go back to normal, so it does not stay there forever. So it's very, 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 very important. Okay, and you can use this when you're in testing responsiveness, and when we get to that part of it, we're going to cross over. So now, another thing I want us to look at, let's just see how we can work with links. Okay, all right. So now, let's say for instance, I want to learn how to cook, and I'm looking for where I can actually cook, or I want to see where I can get to the owner of this website. Let's take that instance. Okay, let's say I want to be able to link it. All right, so now if I want to link myself, like somebody wants to learn how to cook, okay, what I'm going to do is, there is another tag called the anchor tag. That's the A tag. A tag now has the href, which is an attribute. Once we started, we actually spoke of attributes, and we started using the star attribute, which comes up with many other things involved. Okay, we had different properties like the font family, text align, and color, and there are so many other properties which gives your page or your website a particular feeling. So now, for instance, I want to be able to click on this learn how to cook to redirect me somewhere that I will learn how to cook. So basically here, I'll just use any, let's say, okay, let's just say I want to learn HTML elements reference, such that once they click on this learn HTML, it should take me to this website. Okay, let's change our text here. So learn HTML reference. Okay, all right, so now the link that I want us to click and go there is this. So what you do is you just copy this URL. So the URL will be like your target. Okay, that'll be your target. Now what we'll do is we'll replace it here as our destination link. Oh well, it's basically long, but we'll just deal with it. Okay, so we copy this now and place here. So now what we have done is more of nesting. Okay, we have nested our A tag within the paragraph tag. If you remember, on the first video we spoke about nesting HTML elements. It's very, very important to understand that. Okay, so now if you see here, you have I would love to learn HTML, but now you have this learn HTML element. It does not give our page a good feeling, so we'll have to remove that. Okay, so we'll remove this and let's see how it, okay, it looks better. Such a way that once you click it, it takes you here. So let's click and see. All right, it takes you completely to it leaves your website and take you to completely the next page. But now, for instance, I will not want to refer somebody to another website and the person leaves my website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another attribute, okay, which is target underscore blank attribute. Now that target underscore attribute just tells me that, okay, once a person clicks here, it will not leave my website. He's going to open a completely new different website, okay? So that's very, very important to actually use that, and you can always come back here to your website, okay? Now, take for instance, with HTML, let me say I write blah, 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 okay? And I save, and I see this, you see? Now, there is no space between last tag and this tag because everything is treated like in different elements, so they cannot automatically be a space because the paragraph is like a block on its own. Okay, let's just assume that here is between this. Okay, let's remove this so you actually understand what I mean. Okay, see, it's on its own, right? One thing you should know is that HTML actually ignores this, ignores line breaks by default. So it's very, very, very important that anytime you're dealing with that, you actually put each in its own element so it actually knows what it's dealing with. So I'm going to remove that. Now, if you look at this page, it is really, really, really messy. Okay, it has a whole lot of things that are not really, really needed. Okay, now that would take me to global styles. Okay, you see there are multiple styles here that they are together, like they resemble, okay, like they actually perform the same, like they have the same functions. So what they're going to do is that we're going to reduce it actually. Okay, for now, this is more of inline stylings, okay, like you just style within the different tags. All right, so now how are we going to reduce it using the global CSS and maybe selectors? Now let's visit our CSS reference. Okay, so now our style rule syntax, our basic style rule syntax is you have the particular element and you can pass in a particular property to that element. Okay, so now we're going to reduce it, but this time we'll not, this is more of external styling, but we're not going to do that yet. We'll get into that in the upcoming videos. So how can we separate this? Okay, we make use of the style attribute. So now what we'll do is we'll just have the style. Okay, within the style we're going to have all our properties there to make things really, really solid. Okay, now we see for our h1, right, we have all these properties involved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out all these properties that we have here. This will help us to make our page syntactically correct, following a very, very good syntax. All right, so now if you remember in the first video, what actually helps us to actually separate one property with another is by the use of semicolons. So now if you discover, well, I've used this style as the general CSS. Okay, so this is not actually needed. So we'll have our font family sans serif, which is separated by semicolon. Take enter. All right, and now we have our color, which is separated by semicolon. Okay, this actually makes things more cleaner. All right, now let's see if our h1 still applies for this same thing. Okay, now our h1 does not actually apply. Okay, so now why is it not applying? Okay, of which is within our style. But we're going to come back to that. All right, let's do the same thing for a paragraph. So for a paragraph we have the same thing. All right, so we're going to separate this style. Okay, separate this. and we separate these. All right, so now we're going to remove this from here completely, and we have this here. We'll cut this and paste here. All right, so looks like our prettier isn't working. What we'll do is you can go to code, settings, keyboard shortcuts, and we'll check again our format document. Okay, command F. So do command F. All right, so we have this and this and this. So our link should include a non-opener. Okay, well, you can just do a quick fix and disable that. Now our question is, why is our style not applying? Okay, now anytime you are deploying, we're actually doing this within the body. So now we're going to try, let's assume we don't know what we are doing. We'll try putting it before our body to actually see what happens. Okay, then we reload and we discover we have the same issue. Okay, now when you're stuck with problems like this, okay, what you do is you do a brief Google search to actually understand what is happening. Okay, now firstly, to solve something like this, I'm not going to give you a quick solution. Okay, you can come to MDN and say how to do global styling in CSS. Okay, all right. Or let's just say style element. So you see here within the HTML, right? This is the style tag. You have the P, you have the color. Okay, so the style element must be included inside the head of the document. Okay, in general, it is better to put your styles in an external shade, which we are going to look more into that. So you should take note of this. Your style element must be inside the head of your document. So now you come back to your document. Okay, you are like, okay, where's the head? You see this is the head. From here the head opens here and closes. Understand? That's how you should solve problems when you're stuck. Okay, so now we will cut all this as style. Okay, when you cut it out and put it within the head, and let's see what we have here. We're going to reload, and at times it's preferable you close the port and run it again. Now we still have an issue. This is supposing to work. Okay, let's look in the head closes here, head opens here. So we have our H1 font family of sans serif. All that works except what? The color. Okay, see our color. This is the issue and this is the issue. So that's that. Okay, you should be very keen when dealing with all these. Okay, I think that's basically it for this video. We covered basic stylings and yeah. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.